Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, council members, our audience in here. Thank all of you for coming this evening. As you very well know, and the reason obviously you're here is this is our State of the City address. I found it to be quite an honor and a pleasure to be affiliated with our mayor and everybody that's in the city and all the good job that everybody is doing. I think it's wonderful. So without further ado, I'm honored and privileged to introduce to you our mayor of Chillicothe, Mr. Luke Feeney.
Thank you, Bruce. Kind welcome, Mr. President, members of council, public. Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I think of the state of the city as a recap on our previous year, a check on our current pulse, and a bit of a look to the future where we might be headed. The state of the city isn't just a reflection on city government, but the community as a whole, because our futures are all dependent on each other's success. As I considered tonight's topics, it occurred to me that 2018 was a year of many introductions. And so I'm going to go with a theme of introductions and infrastructure tonight. Within the city administration, we introduced new leadership in 3 key roles. In 2018, we brought on a new city engineer, transit director, and utilities director. What we lost in institutional knowledge, we gained in fresh ideas and approaches to management and leadership. I want to take this opportunity to thank those department heads we lost. Mike Green, Tom Day, and Richard Johnson served this city well. We also welcome new leadership in organizations that the city works closely with. Tammy Leonardo has been in her role as our community's economic development director for just over a year and has settled in nicely. A couple of Sundays ago, she spent a snowy Sunday morning welcoming a potential new employer to town, and she's been working hard to put us on the map as an attractive place to locate new business. In that same building, a familiar face is wearing a new hat. Mike Throne has moved on from the Chillicothe Gazette and is now leading the Chamber of Commerce. We will miss Randy, but the Chamber is in good hands under Mike's stewardship. We also introduced a new city logo and city website. As it turns out, our new city logo is, well, old. I'm told retro is in these days, so what we did was simply take a part of our existing city flag and repurposed it to rebrand ourselves. I think it turned out okay. We still use our crest for official city business, but the logo gives us a fresh look that has been embraced by staff and the public alike. We're aware of the impact of first impressions, and in conjunction with our new logo, in the last month we've launched a new website. The site looks good, it is easy to use, and it is useful. Just today, I was driving down my street, and I needed to find the utilities department number to call about a pothole. I was able to find it easily on my phone because the new website is mobile friendly. Mr. Official, you may want to check your messages. The website can be used to report problems like potholes. No need to call or even email. Just select the department you'd like and communicate with them, and the website does the work. You can contact departments directly, learn about upcoming events like large item pickup, or the date for trick or treat, or leaf pickup schedule. We also introduced a brand new service to the community. In September, we rolled out more than 7,000 recycling cards and marked the beginning of our new curbside recycling program. Recycling was an important moment for the city because it marked the first major new service the city has provided in years. The city collaborated with the Ohio EPA, our local solid waste district, and Ohio University Chillicothe to create and roll out a service that positively impacts our community. The 2 gentlemen on the back of the truck have gone above and beyond in living up to the basic requirements of the job to make sure that you have a reliable service. They truly care. To date, they have picked up over 365 tons of recyclables. Introductions in 2018 weren't limited to the City of Chillicothe government, and I'm proud that we were able to collaborate on some of the more impactful projects that will benefit our community for years to come. The Chillicothe City School District introduced not one, but 2 new schools in the past year, and we have been happy to partner to facilitate the construction and opening of these beautiful facilities. We've worked closely to minimize the disruption caused and maximize the safety to the children. There is more work to do, but I'm delighted with our progress so far. Congratulations to the City School District, and thank you for your commitment to the youth of our community. In addition to the construction, we have worked with the district to make our schools safer and have teamed up to provide an additional resource officer that works full-time with the district. The school district has been a leader for the type of collaboration required to move this community forward. I commend it on its efforts to maximize the value of Mount Logan to the community. Instead of closing down the building, it has already teamed up with the library system to open a new branch, and recently announced a collaboration with Adina and Hopewell Health System that will open a health clinic that will serve that community well for years to come. Speaking of Adina, the health system introduced a new state-of-the-art emergency room this past summer. The city was happy to play a role in helping access the funds for the $36 million project. It was a much-needed addition to this community and is serving us well. There were also some farewells in 2018 to go with those introductions. The community said goodbye to former Chamber of Commerce CEO and President Randy Davies. Randy served the community well for many years and he will be missed. His leadership might best be remembered by our recent lighting of the Christmas tree ceremony this past year. I heard more than one person report that evening that they felt like they were in a Hallmark movie as they watched the tree lighting, followed by fireworks, and then a stroll downtown. Randy's efforts across the community were strong and were most visible downtown. We also said a very happy and overdue goodbye and good riddance in 2018. We all know that feeling when someone has overstayed their welcome, maybe outlived their usefulness. And frankly, after arriving in 2012 and staying for 6 years, it was just too long. So in November of last year, along with the auditor and treasurer, I was more than happy to show our fiscal caution designation, the proverbial door. In 2012, the designation was assigned to the city that it needed to strengthen policies and procedures and reestablish its financial footing. I am proud to say with certainty that we've done just that. Auditor Spetnagel has established new policies and procedures to go along with new finance operations system and has worked closely with Treasurer Sibrel to implement those standards. Our financial footing is stronger, much stronger. When I became auditor in January of 2013, the general fund had a carryover of $450,000. 6 years later, as Auditor Spetnagel reported earlier tonight, our carryover into 2019 was over $2.8 million. That's 6 times more than it was in 2013. Despite our steadier financial footing, we are not without our threats. Internally, like with all organizations right now, the rising cost of healthcare is a threat to our financial stability and is increasing at an unsustainable rate. Our total citywide health insurance costs have increased by over $1.6 million, over 50% in just the past 4 years. As we look to the future, it is one of the most pressing issues the city must face for its long-term stability. Another pressing threat is our infrastructure. 4 years ago, the voters of this town made a smart commitment to one aspect of infrastructure, our roads. Many other needs have gone unfunded or ignored for years. Fortunately, this city council took crucial first steps towards addressing our needs in 2018. First, City Council authorized a major analysis of our wastewater treatment plant. The last major upgrade to modernize the facility was in 1984, and it has not seen a significant upgrade since. Other major upgrades in that time frame include the transition from cassette tapes to CDs, and it's fairly unlikely that any of us in this room had internet at home or a cell phone in 1984. This facility treats everything that we flush in this city. In other words, it's time for an update. The final results of the analysis and recommendation are pending, but the drafts have been as we expected. The entire plant needs to be replaced. Early estimates are that the entire project will cost over $25 million and will be a multi-year undertaking to both plan and execute. The other study that Council authorized took a look at most of the city's other major facilities. It analyzed their current condition and usage and gave us possible options for moving forward. The stark truth is that many of our buildings are unsafe, inaccessible, they're not ADA compliant, and they're underutilized. City Council is currently in the process of making major decisions on the future of these facilities, and I sincerely thank you for taking on this big task. The decisions made today will impact this community for years to come. In 2018, the city completed paving on 17 different streets and 12 different alleys, totaling over 35,000 feet of paving, or close to 7 miles. At the same time, 97 ADA compliant ramps were installed, which make our streets and sidewalks more accessible. As a side note, paving projects were completed in every city ward. We've worked closely with ODOT for several years on a project that will make the intersection of Plyley's Lane and Western Avenue safer and will make that corridor easier to travel, both by foot and car. I'm most excited about the inclusion of a new sidewalk along Western Avenue. In addition to paving, South Watt Street will get a new sidewalk and much needed stormwater work. And we have a project out to bid right now that would add sidewalk and stormwater work to Woodbridge Avenue. This infrastructure work is not only desperately needed, but it will dramatically increase the safety, accessibility, quality of life, and health of the community. Last year, we also secured $250,000 in matching dollars in the state capital budget to begin the first phase of renovations to the Armory in the heart of the park. The end product will be a facility that is a resource for the community for years to come. In addition to the new city website that I mentioned, City Council also made a commitment to the digital infrastructure of the city by committing to fund an IT specialist position for the first time. This position will lead to increasing efficiency for all employees and increased security of private information. We spent last year taking a closer look at neighborhoods, paying attention to the smaller details that impact our quality of life. One result was a redesign to the entrance of Mary Lou Patton Park. Something small for most of us, but something that will add some pride to that neighborhood. Another result is the significant effort that has gone into the development of the city's first dog park. Another area of focus in 2019 will be that of our transit system, which already provides excellent services to the citizens of Ross County. But I personally believe there's much, much more that we can do. Our major point of emphasis will be the routes that we currently run and if they're serving the needs of our community. Are they efficient? Are they direct? Are they serving the folks who need to get to the grocery store? What about work? In the hospital? What if somebody wants to bring a bike on board? Would it be possible to get a route from Tecumseh to Tecumseh from our hotels? And could groups charter our buses when no other transportation is available? These are tough questions, and there's a lot of regulations involved, but we're asking them internally, and we'll be engaging the public in 2019 to find out how we can better serve your needs. Looking to the future, in many ways, 2019 will be a year of transition. I've spoken about the capital investment in infrastructure, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention human capital. Three of the public servants with us tonight, and one that will be arriving later, have elected not to run for office again. By my math, we will lose close to 40 years of collective public service experience with their departures. Councilman Hines and Councilwoman Kearney, your stays have been brief, but not without impact, and I thank you for your service. Law Director Rutherford and Councilwoman Patrick, you've served the city well for many years, and your impact and dedication will be missed. I look forward to working with each of you to accomplish your goals for the rest of the year as we continue to move the city forward. We've been focusing on that other type of infrastructure within the city, our human capital. 2 years ago, we had an employee hire in with the city as a part-time bus driver. Within a year, an opportunity presented itself, and the part-time bus driver took a chance and bid on a job to be the city's parking enforcer when the job came back. Despite doing his job well as a parking enforcer, the world has probably not seen a more friendly or better liked parking enforcer. He's a special talent. Not one to rest on his laurels, our parking enforcer used some of his excess energy to attend night school, and when the opportunity came, he took the test to become a city police officer. This past summer, after being with the city just 1.5 years, he was sworn in as our newest police officer. Within the last week, some of you who are on social media may have seen a grainy picture of a man in a wheelchair, a city bus, and a police cruiser. That picture was captioned with the following story, and I quote, this marks the first time I've quoted from a Facebook post. "Excuse the bad photo, but I just witnessed the coolest thing. I was about a block away when I saw a Chillicothe policeman drive around the corner of Arch Street in Woodbridge, turn on his lights, and stop traffic. He then got out of his car to help a man coming down Woodbridge in his wheelchair. He pushed it down the rest of the way and made sure he was safe on the sidewalk. But wait, there's more. A city bus came around the corner and stopped. The driver got out, and he walked the wheelchair to the apartments around the corner while the policeman took care of traffic. People taking care of people. Man, I love this town." The post has been shared over 400 times, and its reach has expanded well beyond Chillicothe. The bus driver was Fred Brown. Fred politely declined an invitation to attend tonight, but responded, "The officer and I were just doing what we were supposed to do as civil servants." The part-time bus driver, who was sworn in as an officer last year, also happens to be the officer who helped the man in the wheelchair. Officer Tim Boltonhouse is with us tonight. Thank you, Tim. I didn't share that story because it's extraordinary. I shared it because it isn't. Our community is full of opportunities, and it is full of these heartwarming stories. We just have to choose to see them and to share them. If we continue to invest in our infrastructure, like our roads and our facilities, and our human capital, the community will continue to thrive for years to come. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for everything you do for our community and your interest in the city. I'm so glad to see all the departments heads here tonight.